It was past midnight when Grayson first heard it. A faint, persistent scratching from the basement, a sound he initially dismissed as old house creaks or perhaps a stray mouse. But the next night, it returned, louder, more insistent, a rhythmic thump, thump, thump that vibrated through the floorboards directly beneath his bed. Isabella, his partner, stirred beside him, her eyes wide with a silent question. "Did you hear that?" she whispered, confirming his growing unease. The noises escalated over the following week, evolving from mere scratches to faint, almost spectral whispers, a chilling cadence that seemed to beckon from the darkness below. They'd investigated every corner of the dusty, spiderweb-laden basement, checking pipes, vents, even setting traps for rodents, but found nothing. The sound, however, remained, always emanating from a specific spot near the far wall, directly beneath a particularly old, unyielding section of concrete floor. It was a spot Grayson had always instinctively avoided, a place that felt wrong. One evening, after a particularly unsettling chorus of thuds and whispers, Isabella looked at him, her face pale. "Grayson, we have to do something. I can't sleep anymore." He knew she was right. Armed with a sledgehammer, a pickaxe, and a grim determination, Grayson began to chip away at the concrete. The work was grueling, the air thick with dust and the metallic clang of his tools echoing in the confined space. Hours bled into each other as he chipped and pried, Isabella holding a powerful work lamp, her gaze fixed on the growing crater in the floor. Then, with a final, mighty blow, the concrete gave way not to earth, but to an unexpected void, a dark, gaping maw, hinting at something hidden beneath. They shone the lamp into the darkness, revealing not soil, but a crudely bricked-up archway, ancient and forgotten, a silent testament to a secret long buried. With renewed vigor, Grayson attacked the old mortar, prying away bricks one by one, until the archway stood open, revealing a small, musty, pitch-black room beyond. The air that wafted out was cold, heavy with the scent of damp earth and forgotten time. Isabella gasped, clutching his arm. Inside, the beam of their lamp cut through the gloom, illuminating a scene frozen in time. A small, overturned wooden chair, a scattering of rusted metal objects, and on the far wall, a single, faded portrait. It depicted a young woman with kind yet sorrowful eyes, her face framed by an old-fashioned hairstyle. Emily. The name came to Grayson unbidden, a distant memory of a great aunt who had vanished decades ago, presumed to have eloped or simply run away. In the center of the room, half buried under a pile of rubble, was an old, intricately carved wooden chest. Heart pounding, Grayson carefully pulled it free. The hinges groaned as he lifted the lid, revealing its contents, a leather-bound journal, its pages brittle with age, a silver locket, and a child's worn, one-eyed teddy bear. He carefully picked up the journal, its cover embossed with the initials E.M. Isabella pointed to the portrait. "It's her, Grayson. It's Emily." As Grayson began to read, Emily's elegant, looping script unfolded a tragic tale. The journal entries detailed her life in the very house they now inhabited, her dreams of becoming a writer, her blossoming love for a local artist. But then a darker narrative began to emerge. Mentions of a jealous relative, Sophia, who coveted the family inheritance, of hushed arguments and threats. Emily wrote of being confined to the house, of her growing fear, and her desperate plan to hide her true will and a plea for help in a secret compartment within this very room. The last entry was chilling, scrawled hastily, speaking of her imminent forced departure, and her hope that someone, someday, would find her truth. They realized with a jolt that the house had indeed been passed down through Sophia's line, never Emily's. The noises, the whispers, They weren't ghosts, but perhaps the settling of a house with a heavy secret, or the echoes of a desperate spirit trying to be heard. They frantically searched the small room, following Emily's cryptic clues in the journal. Behind a loose brick, concealed by years of dust and neglect, they found a small rusted metal box. Inside lay not treasure, but the true will, legally binding, disinheriting Sophia, and a poignant handwritten letter from Emily, addressed to whoever finds this. It detailed Sophia's cruel scheme, her own forced disappearance, and her final, heartbreaking plea for justice. Grayson and Isabella stood in the silence of the hidden room, the weight of a decades-old injustice heavy in the air. They had not only discovered a secret room, but had unearthed a buried family tragedy, a truth that had been denied for generations. The house no longer felt just like a home. It was a living archive of a forgotten wrong, and they knew, with a certainty that resonated deep within their souls, that they had to make things right.